Self-improvement content is everywhere these days. It's bigger than ever in 2026. There's podcasts, there's self-help books, motivational YouTube videos, there's seminars you can go to, there's YouTube channels like this one. It's everywhere. But is self-improvement content helping you improve? Is it a waste of time? I hope not, because I literally just created this self-improvement YouTube channel. I am someone who used to consume an absurd amount of self-improvement stuff. I would listen to podcasts while I was working and while I was driving. Whenever we traveled anywhere, even if it was like 6 hours, we would just listen to podcasts. I would watch motivational videos. I'd read self-help books. I was a massive consumer, but I have largely stopped all of that over the past few years. And I didn't really think about why. I thought I just got bored, maybe lost hope a little bit that I couldn't live the life these people were living. And people talk about optimization fatigue and things like that. And I think that's part of it. But for me, when I thought about it, I was like, why do I not watch that stuff anymore? Why do I not listen to those podcasts anymore? I came up with a few things. I get sick of the repetitiveness of it, particularly the interview style podcasts. I understand they have a new guest each week or whatever, but the host just brings up the same stories, the same points. When you hear that epiphany they had when they injured their leg playing sport and they realized that they didn't know how to delegate and they had to adapt their schedule so that they could not fall into that trap again. Like, yeah, that's a cool story, but after the 10th time I've heard it, I'm kind of like just rolling my eyes. And it got to a point with one podcast in particular, which was my go-to one. I started to be able to predict what he was going to say next, the points he was going to bring up to his guest. And yeah, I just got really sick of it and stopped completely. They can also be very unrelatable. You know, these big creators, they're making millions of dollars, and that's great. They've worked hard for it, but they aren't me. Like, I'm in my 30s, starting over financially, emotionally, and socially. I am not in their position. I need different advice, I think. The other issue I have with a lot of self-improvement content is the tendency that they have to say something that's extremely obvious or simple and act like it's the most profound thing ever said by anyone. And I remember in one of the podcasts I used to listen to a lot, he actually brought up this and said, there's a term for it. It's called deepity. When you say something that's extremely basic and obvious, but act like it's super profound, there is a word for it. And it was that podcast that was the biggest culprit for behaving with deepity, if you will. And I remember one particular conversation in this podcast. He was interviewing this guy and he's like, what should people do if they are afraid to try something new? They're starting a new project, or they know what they have to do, but they don't know what action to take or something. And the guy paused for like dramatic effect and then said, go, just do it. And when I heard it, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, just go. Like, it really is that simple. Like, you get sucked into it. The thing is, this guest who said this, he's a retired Navy SEAL. He's extremely successful, extremely confident, and has a lot of achievements. He has a reason to be super confident. He's not me. And for him to just act and go, he knows exactly what that looks like. But for someone like me, I don't even know what it looks like to just take action sometimes, you know. When it comes to social situations, I do get quite anxious and I don't know how to act. And people say, well, just be yourself and people will like you for it. And I'm like, I don't know what myself is. I don't know what that would look like. I literally don't know. And so when people say these extremely basic and obvious truths as if they are this unlocking the secrets to the universe, it can seem kind of cool in the moment, but then when you go to try and take action on that advice, you go, I don't know what it looks like to do that. And I think that's a big problem as well, is that these people, if you're taking advice from someone who's worth $100 million, the advice they're giving you might not really match your life. and might not be the best action you can take. You're taking advice off a guy who's worth $100 million. He's telling you how to invest the extra money you have at the end of the month or something, and you don't even have a budget. Like, I think this is the thing. You can be listening to these extremely successful people who have worked for it, and that's great, and I'm happy for them. But they might be a little bit out of touch about what it's like for the people who haven't made it yet. And they can speak with such confidence, and they can be so straightforward and know exactly what they would do in a situation. And the advice can be extremely simple and basic. And the thing is, just because the advice is simple doesn't mean it's actionable, doesn't mean that it's easy to do. I think knowing what to do and knowing how to do it are very different things. You know, we all know that we should be going to the gym, we should be drinking enough water, we should be eating healthy, and we should be trying to find a career that gives us some fulfillment, or at least makes us enough money so that we don't have to be working every day of our lives just to get by. But I think we're so caught up in the system. You know, if you're like me, I feel like sometimes I don't want to sound cynical, but I feel like sometimes the system is really designed to keep people trapped and keep people too busy to take action that would change their lives, or even to have the time to sit down and think about how they could change their lives. And I think sometimes the self-improvement content doesn't help you to do that. It could say something like, find something you're passionate about and find a way to make money from it. That's great advice, but for someone who's just working a day job and they're just trying to get by, that's a really tough ask. If you're like me, you might not even know what you're passionate about. You don't even know what you want or who you want to be. And you're too busy working and paying the bills to go and figure that out. I came across this theory the other day about self-improvement content, and it was that by consuming it, you're actually hurting your ability to improve your life. Because when you watch a motivational video, you get the illusion that you've achieved something, and you're actually less likely to take action because you feel like you've already made some improvement just by watching it. I think that is true, partly, but I have an alternate theory. I think that people consume this content because it triggers their dopamine reward system, in the same way that when you're doom scrolling, you don't do it because the current reel you're watching is amazing. You do it because the next one might be. You will go through hundreds of terrible short form videos that you don't find funny or that aren't interesting, because every now and then you get a really good one. And studies have shown that is how your reward system works. Your brain enjoys the anticipation, the chase, more than the actual reward. And I think that's what's happening with self-improvement content. I think that's what happened to me. I was essentially doom scrolling positive content. Every time I'd hear this super basic but somehow profound line, I'd get this spike in motivation and it would make me feel good. But 10 seconds later, I'm just waiting for the next one. And the thing is, I think even if you're doing that, I still think it's a net positive. I know that when I am in a phase of consuming a lot of self-improvement, when I'm reading the books and listening to the podcasts and watching the videos, I do feel more optimistic. I feel more grateful and motivated. But I think where it can become harmful is that sometimes these creators are selling a dream. They're saying it without saying it, but you can feel that if you listen to them enough, you'll become a millionaire. You'll make that $100 million company and you'll be super successful. I think that's what happened to me. I kept getting my hopes up that like this would be the year that I would become a millionaire. I would create a product that would be super successful and I would finally be happy. And I think I got sick of getting my hopes up and then reality setting in and being disappointed yet again. And I think that's where it can be harmful. If you view it as your savior, if you think that if I consume enough of this, I can be like these people. And the thing is, you can. It's not to say you can't, but you need to be happy in the meantime. Because I've wasted a lot of years grinding away at projects that didn't work. And looking back, I don't regret doing that because it could have worked, but I regret not enjoying my life while I was working on it. And yeah, I think that's where it can be harmful. They can be selling a dream that might not apply to you, or a dream that you might not even want. And other than that, I think it can be really positive, which is why I created this channel. I mean, I'm still very interested in it. I'm just trying to look at things differently. I've been watching Better Ideas YouTube channel. He is very good at breaking down habits and behaviors that can actually change your life. I'm very much not interested in what billionaires are doing anymore to be successful. I want to learn how to go to the gym consistently and be happy. That is my goal. And the irony is that most of the information in self-improvement content is correct. It's good advice. The trouble is you can just spend all your time consuming it and none of your time actually taking action that is going to change your life and make you happier today. So I've really moved away from the type of content that is teaching you to optimize your life 100% and spend all your day working. The hustle culture is apparently dead in 2026. It's probably a good thing. So yeah, I don't think self-improvement content is bad. I mean, obviously, I've just created a self-improvement YouTube channel, but I've personally realized that listening to billionaires tell you how they got started doesn't help me. I need to know how to improve my life today, not how I'm going to be happier once I've made $1 million. I am very much drawn to the content now that teaches you how to take simple actions in your life today that are actually going to improve your life. Like, I want to take care of my body and eat healthy and keep my home clean and be a good person. I want to master those things first, and in the meantime, be happy. I, of course, want to make money and have financial freedom. That is my goal. But I'm really focusing now on how to actually enjoy life now, because all we have is now. That's all that's guaranteed. And I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more present, and I'm noticing that I am enjoying little moments in my life more. I used to truly believe that I wouldn't be able to enjoy my life until I was making millions of dollars. I believed that. But it's been a real mindset shift for me. I'm realizing that the boring, unsexy little habits you do every day, they are what's most important, and you need to master those first. It's been great focusing on my life and what I need and not worrying about what billionaires are doing. So I think self-improvement content is still great, obviously. Listening to that next podcast episode probably isn't going to change your life. I think it's still a positive thing and it's a good thing, but consuming it shouldn't become a substitute for learning basic, unsexy skills that are going to improve your life today. For instance, and I'll leave it on this note, but I want to leave you with something that you can take action on. I've recently learned this thing that when there's something you don't want to do that you know you should, maybe it's going to the gym, maybe you need to work legs today. I hate working legs. It sounds really dumb and simple, but it really works. Trust me. It's submitting to the task. So you know it's going to suck. You know you don't want to do it. You know you might not enjoy it, but you know it's good for you and you know it needs to be done. So submit to it. Just start walking out the door to the car to go to the gym. Your brain is going to be telling you, I don't want to do this. This sucks. That's okay. It's happening. You're going. I'm submitting to the reality that I need to do this task and it's good for me. I don't think I'm explaining it very well, but if you try it, it really works. I actually did it last night. I had to do a leg workout. I left it really late. I had a really busy day and I really didn't want to go. My brain was it was working overtime to rationalize why I shouldn't go to the gym. It was telling me I should just rest. I'm tired. You don't want to burn out, but I was fine. I got to the car park of the gym. I still didn't want to go. My brain was still trying to rationalize with me, but I just went, no, I'm submitting to the task. Let go of the resistance and just move forward. It works. Trust me. I will try. I want to make a video on it because I don't think I'm explaining it very well. but try it. It really works. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.